into. So it was pretty cool. The special effects is good. Like throughout the years, they've been getting better and better. I mean, the makeup of Davros is really well done. Even though, yes, you could kind of say yes, it's still a little cheap here and there, but I have to admit, it's still pretty damn good. The little, for brief moments, you actually get to see the little squid thing that the Daleks are, but only for briefest moments, and it's wrapped around the Doctor's neck because it's choking him. But that was still pretty cool and pretty, kind of creepy and whatnot. Sets were amazing. I mean, you could really tell the difference between the Khalids and the Thals. The environment, the quarry they filmed in for Skaro, because the war has pretty much desolated everything. Everything's just a desert land. So the way they filmed it with smoke and gray dirt and all that just really looks good. It's interesting that when the Daleks still fire their weapons and exterminate people, they still cut to negative film. So it's kind of interesting that they still did that. I thought they would just, shoot a laser beam, which they do now. They actually shoot lasers. They don't. The little egg whisk just doesn't go like this anymore. Actually, it goes like this, but they actually have a beam that comes out this time. Again, a little step forward with their special effects. Now, the scene that everybody talks about is one of the most important scenes. Actually, there's two important scenes of this movie. There's a scene where Davros is interrogating the Doctor, and the Doctor gives like a question for him. The philosophical question is, he asks him, if you had a vial with a virus that could kill everybody in the entire universe, would you break it and use it? And Davros goes, yes, that set me above the gods. Yes, of course I would do it. And it was just a way to show how evil Davros is and how different he is from the Doctor, the good and evil and everything. And then later, the Doctor almost sinks down to Davros' level because he realizes, I have to destroy the Daleks. There's no other way to stop, the creation of the Daleks or anything. So he sets up explosives in the incubation chamber where the early stages of the final form are, and basically once he sets in the wires and goes out, he basically just has these two strands of wires he has to put together and to set off the explosives, and he stops. Just stops and stares at them. And his friends are going, what are you doing? Do it. Destroy these Daleks. And he just goes, do I have the right? Do I have this right? Because he's really thinking, because the final decision is really his to make. He's the one that has to put the wires together and blow them up, and thus cause universal genocide. Just completely wipe out an entire species from existence. And, and he even says, if somebody from the future comes and points a child out to you and says, that child will become an evil, cruel dictator that will kill millions of people, will you kill that child? I mean, he points that out, which is a really good question. And of course, Sarah says these are the Daleks, the most evil species in the universe. They must be destroyed. But the Doctor goes, "Do I have that right? The decision is mine alone. If I destroy them, I'm no better than them. I am just like them," and that is very true. And he's almost about to put them together when somebody comes out and says, Davros we're going to put Davros on trial, and make a vote about the Daleks, which prevents the Doctor from doing it. But that was a really intense scene. I was like, oh my god! Not only well acted by all three, the Harry, Sarah, and the Doctor, very well portrayed, very well acted by all three of them. But it was a very intense scene and very philosophical, and also shows how much the show has been growing up with its audience throughout the years. I mean, because this is a very adult thing. This is not a kid thing. For kids, it's like, oh, evil must be stopped. But this is a very adult thing. I mean, this is a lot of weight you have to put on and have to live with. I mean, seriously, if the other thing you had to do was genocide an entire race from existence, how could you live with that? That is not something you really teach a kid. That is something that, an adult can only think of. Later on, though, spoiler alert, the Doctor realizes, I have to destroy them, and he goes back to try and, set the explosive, but a Dalek stops him. But at the same time, through fate, I think, the Dalek, while the Doctor's hiding, a Dalek rolls over the wires and crosses them, and the chamber explodes. And when the Doctor escapes, they blow up the entire bunker that's housing all this stuff. thus sealing the Daleks, what remaining Daleks are there. And the Daleks actually exterminate Davros, which is quite interesting and a nice bit of irony, because they feel the Daleks feel that Davros and all the other colleagues in there are inferior, and so they kill them all. But the Daleks are stuck within the bunker now. They're still alive, but they're stuck in there. But the Doctor feels, I did not kill them all. I just stopped their progress for like 1,000 years, 10,000 to 10,000 years. So, which is, you could kind of say, yeah, probably. I mean, the Daleks have to start all over again, because even though some are still alive down there, they're going to rebuild everything. They're going to rebuild everything, create more Daleks, and continue on. But that will take time. So the Doctor kind of succeeded in his mission, but at the same time did not change history. For like 1,000 to 10,000 years later, the first Doctor will show up, and that's when he, Ian Chesterton, Barbara, and his granddaughter Susan meet the Daleks 1,000 to 10,000 years later. So no, history has really changed, but the Doctor did prevent them from becoming dominant and actually spreading out any further. So he kind of succeeded in his mission. So the Doctor kind of succeeded, so now he was able to actually go back to the TARDIS. So he and his companions were sent back to the TARDIS. But it was a very good story. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it was dark, it was gritty. It was actually filmed really gritty. I mean, there was a lot of shadows. I mean, there wasn't any brightness to it, except when you came to the Thal Civilization Dome, where it was very bright and colorful. But in the on the planet itself, and the Khalid Dome and the Khalid Bunker, it was all dark, gritty, smoky, and the subject matter was dark. It was very much an adult story, but it was very fun. I really, really, really enjoyed this one. I could really see why Genesis of the Daleks is not only a classic story, but a very important one, and one that must be seen by any Doctor Who fan. And I haven't seen it yet. It will be a long time before I see it, but one of the recent episodes of Doctor Who, the one with Peter Capaldi, actually touches upon this story, because Capaldi's Doctor, the 12th Doctor, comes across this type of situation again, where he has to think, do I have that right? Can I do this type of thing? And it does involve Davros as well. So yeah, spoiler alert, Davros comes back in several, not only in the classic era, but in the revival series as well a few times. So yeah, I have to say, out of 5 stars, I have to give this one the full 5 stars. It is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. Tom Baker. This is one of the reasons why Tom Baker is the best Doctor. He gets, not only because he gets one of the most important stories several times, or has really good stories, but it's moments like this where it's very philosophical. Because when you think about it, the 4th Doctor is a hippie Doctor. I mean, he's very much a rebel. He's not, conformative or anything like that, and he is given stuff like this where he has to think, do I have this right? Am I a killer? Am I a soldier? Or am I a human being? Or anything like that. So yeah, it's one of the things that make Tom Baker's Doctor one of the best Doctor of all time. I don't know, I can't really, there's just so much I want to say about the story, but I can't really express it. You have to see this for yourself. Alright. Well, we're almost done with the very first year of Tom Baker. Next up, in the next review of Doctor Who, when I eventually get to it, will be Revenge of the Cybermen. The Cybermen come back. So we'll have to see what goes on there. Thank you for watching.